Boxing, the martial art with slick head movement, slick evasion, and some of the best footwork we've ever seen. MMA, crazy takedowns, unreal kicks, and an awesome display of athleticism. Who wins in a fight though? The best boxer or the best MMA athlete? I like to think of it as the Mike Tyson versus John Jones scenario. Who wins this? Mike's incredible movement and punching power is nothing like we've ever seen before. Jones' insane fight IQ, wrestling skills, and clean striking makes it impossible to even think of him losing. Comment below who do you think would win that fight, because I'm curious. With that being said, I personally think that Jones would win, but that's the problem. Every single answer to the debate of boxing versus MMA that I've ever heard has been biased. We all have our own opinions and believe that our own martial art is the best. So, I brought in artificial intelligence to provide an unbiased opinion to tell us who actually wins in a fight. The best boxer or the best MMA fighter. Like I said, due to AI being unable to form an opinion, I've constructed a plan to subtly prompt it to tell us which is the best martial art. Let's go. 1. First, we need to define the characteristics which make the best fighter. 2. For each characteristic, we see which martial art is better, hence earning us a point. 3. The martial art which has the most points at the end will be deemed the winner, hence better martial art. Let's begin. So asking the AI to give features which make the best fighter, it gave a very respectable list. Physical fitness and strength, speed and agility, technical proficiency, and plenty of other qualities. Fantastic. But this was way too long a list, so I asked it to drop it down to 5 measurable features which make the best fighter. Here they are: technical proficiency, striking and grappling ability, physical fitness and strength, cardiovascular endurance, and mental fortitude. Now, it's time for boxing and MMA to go head to head who wins in a fight, according to AI. Firstly, asking about MMA. As expected, it stated the best fighters have fantastic striking, grappling, and are well trained to be able to compete with other martial arts. Hence, yes, it is technically proficient, just as I predicted. Now the real question: is boxing technically proficient in a variety of styles? And the answer surprised me. Essentially, for striking-based martial arts, boxing is proficient, as its footwork, head movement, and defense are transferable. However, for grappling art, boxing is limited, hence the boxer would be dominated. Therefore, that's 1-0 to MMA. But I think we all saw that coming. Clearly, MMA fighters have good grappling from the previous answer. But who had the best striking? Asking the AI this question, it generated a profound answer. Evaluating both arts, it concluded boxers are specialised, essentially meaning only punching is an advantage, as they've invested more time to master it, so they're a lot more effective with their punches. However, it also stated that MMA fighters have a broader range of strikes. So, I thought this meant that they were even in striking, until I read this last sentence. MMA fighters have a broader range of techniques and styles of striking, and they have to be proficient in different striking techniques and adapt to different situations. Hence deeming the MMA fighter the better striker and grappler. 2-0. It's really not looking good for boxing, is it? So, at this point, I realised my questions were given 2 generalised answers. So, I decided to change this. I started to ask questions producing evidence-based answers. So we asked it, how can we measure physical fitness and strength? This was way too long an answer. So we changed it to, how can we measure physical fitness and strength in martial arts with a simple test? Why couldn't you just give me one answer? It gave me 8 tests. Here they are. So I selected 5 measurable tests to research to determine who was physically fitter and stronger. The tests were push-up test, pull-up test, sit-up test, squat test, and 1 mile time. So I went away and found results for each one of these tests. It was not a successful search. With results like this, yeah, there was no chance I was actually going to find the answer I needed. Essentially, there wasn't enough accessible data, so we had to void this answer. On asking about cardiovascular endurance, ChatGPT mentioned how boxers have to fight for several rounds, which inspired me to ask the following question. Who had more minutes for a typical fight? A professional boxer or a professional MMA fighter? Surely this would determine who was fitter. Boxing had more minutes, totaling 36 minutes per fight, if it went to the full length, with MMA's total length being 15 minutes. However, ChatGPT stated that it's not as simple as that. It said MMA requires different cardio. So, if MMA requires different cardio, surely that means it's more physically demanding, right? And asking ChatGPT this, it gave me the following answer. The shorter duration of a UFC fight does not necessarily make it more physically demanding than a boxing match. While a UFC fight may be shorter in duration, the intensity and pace of the action can be much higher, making the demands on the body greater. So, essentially, MMA is more physically demanding, requiring, I quote, different types of cardiovascular endurance, strength, and agility. Hence, we have our winner. MMA was more technically proficient, better at striking, and required more cardio. Hence, according to the AI's criteria, the best MMA fighter would win in a fight, which makes complete sense to me as MMA encompasses all martial arts. I would also like to note, although heavily dictated by the AI, a lot of interpretation and construction of this process was my own, which may have influenced and skewed the results. I tried to minimize this and reduce the bias, however, there's always going to be some error. If you like this video, make sure to check out some of my others, which I'm sure you'll also like. See you next video.